If I could go back in time and give my younger self just one piece of advice, it would be this: never trust these 7 people. It took me 85 long years, countless disappointments, and more heartbreak than I ever imagined to learn this simple truth. The most painful part? None of the people who betrayed me were strangers. They were the ones I welcomed into my life, shared my dreams with, laughed with, and believed would always stand by my side. When we're young, we think betrayal comes from enemies. We stay alert around people who openly dislike us, believing they are the real danger. But life has a cruel way of teaching us otherwise. The deepest scars are often left by the people who know us best, the ones who sit at our table, celebrate our successes, listen to our secrets, and call themselves our friends or family. They smile when we are watching, yet quietly hope to see us stumble when we turn away. I spent years trusting people without question. I gave my time, my loyalty, my kindness, and my support whenever they needed me. But when life became difficult and I needed someone to stand beside me, many of those same people disappeared. Some revealed my private struggles to others. Some criticized me behind my back, and some pretended to care while secretly waiting for me to fail. Those moments changed the way I looked at people forever. After 85 years of living, observing, and learning through painful experience, I have realized that certain types of people almost always bring disappointment, no matter how honest or loyal they appear. I only wish I had recognized these signs earlier, because they could have saved me from years of regret and broken trust. Today, I want to share these lessons with you. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the 7 kinds of people you should never trust if you want to protect your peace, your happiness, and your future. Listen carefully, because one of these people may already be part of your life, and recognizing them today could save you from a betrayal you'll never forget. The first person, the one who speaks excessively sweetly. The person who speaks excessively sweetly, because throughout my life I have seen that the biggest betrayal often does not come from an enemy. It comes from the person who is always smiling in front of you, the one who agrees with everything you say, praises every little thing you do, and makes you feel as if no one in the world wishes you better than they do. Yet many times, this very person turns out to be the most dangerous. Deceitful people never approach you with their true intentions. They weave such a web of sweet words that a person willingly walks into it. They pretend to support you in your difficult times, listen to your problems, learn your secrets, and gradually earn your complete trust. But the moment they have achieved what they wanted, their true face begins to emerge. And only then does a person realize that the one they considered their closest companion has actually become their greatest weakness. I have seen many such faces in my lifetime. They will praise your success to your face while secretly envying your progress. They will speak badly about others in front of you, so that you believe they are loyal only to you. But remember this: if someone can destroy another person's reputation in front of you, they will not protect your reputation when you are absent. Such people do not enter your life to build relationships. They enter it looking for opportunities. One thing I have always found to be true: genuine people are not excessively sweet. They speak less, but they speak the truth. Sometimes their words may even sound harsh, but their intentions are pure. On the other hand, a person who constantly tries to please everyone, carries a fake smile all the time, and always tells you that you are right, should be approached with caution. A chameleon changes its color according to the weather, but such people change their colors according to their advantage. Therefore, if someone starts making you feel excessively special without any reason, constantly praises you, justifies even your mistakes, and always speaks in an overly sweet manner, become a little cautious. Because my 85 years of life have taught me one lesson. Truth is often bitter, but betrayal always arrives wrapped in sweet words. And the moment a person mistakes that sweetness for genuine love, the beginning of their greatest mistake has already begun. The second person, the one who is connected to you only for money. Never blindly trust a person whose loyalty can be bought with money. Such people stay with you only as long as they continue to benefit from you. But the moment they see a greater advantage somewhere else, their relationship, loyalty, and affection all begin to change. And the saddest part is that many times such people are among those closest to us. I still remember an incident from the year 1987. There was a Chicago business owner whose business was famous throughout the area. He had an old accountant working for him who had been managing the business accounts for many years. He knew where every product came from, which customers bought the most, and which suppliers offered the best deals. Every secret of the business was known to him. Over time, the owner's trust in him grew so much that he no longer treated him like an employee, but like a member of the family. But once again, life repeated the same lesson that I am sharing with you today. One day, a merchant from the market across the street offered that accountant a financial incentive. In return, he only wanted some confidential information about the business. At first, the accountant refused, but gradually, the shine of money became greater than his honesty. And then, what greed often makes people do eventually happened. He slowly began leaking the business's secrets. Within a few months, competing merchants started working according to the same strategies. Long-time customers began drifting away, profits started declining, and the owner could not understand how all his plans were being exposed. He continued believing that an external enemy was harming his business, while the real traitor was sitting among the people he trusted the most. By the time the truth came out, it was already too late. The accountant was dismissed, but the damage that had been done could not be undone. That incident taught me a lesson I have never forgotten. A person who is with you only for money will one day sell you for money as well. Because for such a person, relationships do not matter. Only personal gain does. The third person, the friend who praises you in everything. A person who constantly praises you is not always your true friend. Many times, the greatest deception comes from those who continuously make you feel that no one is better than you. Because a true friend does not feed your ego. Instead, when necessary, they hold up a mirror and show you the truth. But a friend who agrees with everything you say, justifies all your mistakes, and constantly makes you feel great, is someone you should be cautious of. Throughout my life, I have seen that flattery is not like a sword that attacks from the front. It is more like a slow poison that gradually weakens a person without them even realizing it. When someone constantly says, "You are always right," "There is no one like you," or "You can never make a mistake." It sounds wonderful to hear, but those very words slowly take away a person's greatest strength, the ability to hear the truth. I still remember an incident from the year 2005. A Silicon Valley CEO was known for his sharp mind and excellent decision-making skills. His greatest quality was that he listened to the opinions of his team. If someone pointed out one of his mistakes, he would consider it rather than become angry. Perhaps that was the reason his business continued to grow. But success brought a danger with it. People began gathering around him who stopped speaking the truth and started praising him instead. Whenever the CEO made a weak decision during meetings, they would immediately say, "Sir, your thinking is different from everyone else. People simply do not understand your vision yet." Or, "What you are doing is absolutely right." Gradually, he began liking only those who praised him, and the employees who pointed out his mistakes started appearing like opponents in his eyes. Without realizing it, he began distancing himself from the very people who genuinely cared about his success. Time passed. Experienced employees repeatedly warned him that certain major projects could prove dangerous for the company. But by then, he only enjoyed hearing things that satisfied his ego. He ignored the warnings. Millions of dollars were invested in the wrong places. Valuable employees began leaving the company one by one. Customers started losing trust, and before long, the company that had taken years to build began falling apart. Then one day, the company suffered such a massive loss that even the investors pulled back their support. The media began asking questions, but the most painful part was something else. The very people who had constantly praised him and built bridges of admiration around him were the first ones to abandon him. No one stood beside him. No one shared responsibility. That was the day he realized that a person who constantly makes you feel great does not necessarily want what is best for you. Many times, the person who stops you, points out your mistakes, and disagrees with you is actually trying to save you from falling. This is the most dangerous form of flattery. It does not make a person lose to an enemy. It makes them lose to themselves. Because the moment a person stops listening to the truth, their downfall begins. And a friend who speaks only to keep you happy can never show you the right path. Instead, they lead you down a road where, in the end, nothing remains except regret. The fourth person, the relative who is jealous of your success. Not every blood relationship is truly connected by the heart. Since childhood, we are taught that family always stands by our side. But throughout the journey of life, I have often seen that the deepest wounds are not inflicted by strangers, but by those we call our own. Because some relationships appear loving on the outside, but hidden within them are comparison, jealousy, and a desire to prevent you from moving ahead. Jealousy is a fire that cannot be seen, yet it slowly burns a person from within. When a relative becomes uneasy instead of genuinely happy about your success, when they try to diminish your achievements rather than appreciate them, understand that there may be a smile on their face, but there is no true affection in their heart. Such people will praise you in front of you, but behind your back, they will continue placing obstacles in your path. I still remember an incident. A very close acquaintance of mine started a small clothing business with his cousin. In the beginning, they worked together like brothers. They helped each other, shared dreams, and planned for the future together. But time changed things. Because of his hard work and wisdom, the elder brother's business began growing rapidly. He started gaining recognition, attracting more customers, and earning praise throughout the market. At first, the younger brother pretended to be happy. But gradually, jealousy began taking root in his heart. His brother's success stopped feeling like a reason for celebration and started feeling like a burden. He began spreading negative stories about him among relatives. He started influencing customers against him. He secretly plotted ways to damage the business. And then, what jealousy always does eventually happened. It turned a relationship into hostility. Within a few years, a division developed between the two brothers that could never be repaired. The family broke apart, relationships ended, and the business also suffered heavy losses. That day, I realized that some people appear to stand beside you during your struggles because seeing you below them gives them comfort. But the moment you start moving ahead, earning respect, and receiving praise from others, those same people become the most uncomfortable. Remember, a true relative is not someone who smiles only during good times. A true relative is someone who is just as happy about your success as they are willing to stand beside you during your pain. But a person who becomes uncomfortable with your progress, constantly finds faults in your achievements, and secretly burns with jealousy as you move forward, is not truly your own. They are a hidden opponent. The fifth person, the one who repeatedly says, "Trust me." You should be most cautious of the person who constantly feels the need to prove their honesty. Because genuinely honest people do not need to advertise their integrity. Their character, behavior, and actions become their identity. But a person who constantly tries to convince others that they are trustworthy often has some hidden motive behind their words. The sun never announces that it gives light. Its brightness is proof enough. In the same way, a genuine person does not repeatedly say, "I am one of your own," "I will never betray you," or "just trust me." Because a person who constantly needs to explain how good they are often wants you to trust their words rather than their actions. Such people are very clever. They do not betray you directly. First, they build trust in your mind. They repeatedly speak sweet words. They make you feel that no one could possibly be more loyal than they are. And once they have completely won your trust, they use that very trust against you. I remember a small businessman who hired one of his own relatives to work at his shop. That relative constantly repeated the same thing. "You can count on me. I will never let any harm come to you." His words sounded so trustworthy that the businessman gradually handed over the entire accounting of the shop to him. He believed that because they were related by blood, there was nothing to fear. But a few months later, the truth that came to light changed everything. It was discovered that the same relative had been slowly taking money from the shop. He had been manipulating the accounts while ensuring that the owner remained completely unaware. By the time the truth was revealed, it was already too late. He had disappeared with the money, leaving behind nothing but regret. That incident taught me a very important lesson. The person who repeatedly advertises their loyalty is often the first one to break your trust. Because true loyalty is not revealed through words, it is revealed through time and circumstances. Trust is not demanded, it is earned. And the person who keeps asking for your trust may simply want you to believe in them before you have the chance to see who they really are. Genuine people earn trust through their actions, while dishonest people try to purchase trust with their words. And my 85 years of life have taught me that the most dangerous betrayal often comes from the person who repeatedly says, "Trust me." Because many times, that phrase is not a guarantee of trust. It is a warning. The sixth person, the one who cannot keep secrets. Never blindly trust a person who cannot control their tongue. Because there are people in this world who come close to you as friends, listen to your thoughts, understand your pain, learn your secrets, and then one day, those very secrets are used against you. A secret is no less valuable than a treasure. It should not be handed over to just anyone. But some people have a habit of learning private information about others and spreading it further. They believe that sharing insider information will make them appear more important. They think that other people's secrets give them power. But the truth is that a person who cannot protect someone else's trust will never protect your trust either. I still remember an employee from my company. He was considered the most trusted person of his manager. Information about major projects, important decisions, and future plans was limited to only a few selected people, and he was one of them. From the outside, he appeared extremely responsible and intelligent. But he had one weakness. He enjoyed sharing confidential information with others. Among his friends, he would casually reveal office secrets because he believed it would make people see him as more important. Then one day, that very habit became a burden on the entire organization. He disclosed information about a major business deal. The information passed from one person to another and eventually reached a competing company. Before our company could launch its plan in the market, the other company introduced the same idea. Millions were lost. Years of hard work were destroyed. And when an investigation was conducted, it became clear that the greatest threat had not come from an external enemy, but from the very person who had been trusted the most. That day, I understood something that I never forgot. The person who reveals other people's secrets in front of you will one day reveal your secrets in front of someone else as well. Because people who thrive on gossip truly belong to no one. They simply use the trust of others to make themselves feel important. Therefore, always remember not to share every detail of your life with everyone. There are very few people in this world who can bury your words in their hearts forever. Most people do not safeguard your words. They store them away and turn them into weapons when the opportunity arises. The seventh person, the one who knows everything, stays silent, yet secretly plots behind the scenes. Not every deceiver creates noise. Some people are so quiet that it becomes difficult to even suspect them. They do not argue, they do not openly oppose anyone, and they never reveal their true thoughts. They simply remain silent, keep listening, and slowly collect the weaknesses of everyone around them. Such people are the most dangerous. Because a visible enemy can be defended against, But the person who plays their game behind a mask of silence often strikes when you least expect it. They sit with you, listen to your thoughts, learn your plans, and make you believe that they are on your side. But deep inside, they are preparing an entirely different story. I remember an employee from a large company. He was always quiet. He never raised his voice at anyone in the office. He neither criticized people nor openly praised them. People considered him serious, intelligent, and trustworthy. The less he spoke, the more people trusted him. Everyone believed he was different from the rest, but his real strength was his silence. In every meeting, he carefully listened to everyone. Who was angry with whom? What weaknesses each person had? Which company plans were confidential? He stored all of it in his mind. For years, he never allowed anyone to suspect his true intentions. Then one day, when the perfect opportunity appeared, he passed important company information to a rival company. The consequences were devastating. Millions were lost. Trust was shattered. And the greatest shock was that the person who had been considered the calmest and most trustworthy turned out to be the biggest traitor of all. That day, I realized that not every quiet person is a saint. Some people use silence as a mask so that others never suspect them. Such people are like snakes, calm on the outside, but filled with poison on the inside. They speak very little because they know that talking too much reveals a person's true nature. So they allow others to speak while they quietly gather information. They know everyone's weaknesses, yet no one ever discovers theirs. Therefore, always remember the final and most important lesson of my life. Never blindly trust a person simply because they remain silent all the time. If someone is always present, listens to everyone, but never reveals their true thoughts, never takes a clear stand on anything, then be cautious. Because many of the most dangerous conspiracies are not born in noise. They are born in silence. And today, at the age of 85, when I look back on my life, I realize that the greatest pain did not come from enemies. The pain came from the people I considered my own. Therefore, no matter how close someone may seem, never trust anyone blindly. A person's true identity is not revealed through their words, but through their character and the way their behavior changes over time. The person who understands this lesson in time can avoid many wounds that never truly heal throughout an entire lifetime.